Why did the Polish authorities not react in time for the freight carriers attack? I mean, it looks like the official Poland has taken an contemplative role, just watching and does not intervene much. Could it be due to the fact
Yes,
that...
that's for sure.
Why? Why? I mean, because of the country is waiting for government to emerge, or maybe any other reasons?
Well, that's the main reason, because the
Right.
previous government of PiS, as you remember, weaponized the issue with trans-border crossing and with the grain. So basically, the PiS is not interested in dealing with this crisis because they are not in the majority, and so it's for the other guys to take care about. And the other guys, the
other
liberal
guys?
Polish parties, they are not able to create a government in time, and so basically they have no means, no instruments
Right.
to influence the situation. And so that's where we are now, unfortunately.
Well, these guys or other guys, Poland was, is, and always will be a neighbor and a partner, no matter what, for Ukraine. Still, what challenges are waiting for Ukraine in regard to its Western neighbor and partner in the future?
I do believe that the economic issues will still remain the main talking for both
Right.
Kiev and Warsaw, because there is still a lot of discussion to be held on our future role in the common European market, because we have the same stance, as I have already mentioned, as the Poles had in 2004. We're a big agrarian country entering the European Union, which is basically, as some European politician joked, European Union is a big organization for protecting French farmers. And so basically, we're with our Ukrainian farmers entering this great alliance of protecting French and then Polish farmers. So there will be a lot of economic discussion, trans-border discussion. Of course, there's still something to be done with our common historic issues. Although during the last 2 years, a lot of archaeological expedition, a lot of roundtables, discussions on any level was taken concerning the Volyn tragedy, concerning all the historical details of our cooperation, still a lot of issues are being politicized and being used against us, not only by the radical Poles or radical Ukrainians, but also by Russians and by pro-Russian sentiments in both cases. And so I do believe that economy and history will be the main issues for us. And one more thing, it is very good that we are currently dealing with this situation, that we are currently working on it. Despite the crisis, despite the pandemonium that is currently unveiling on the border, it is better to deal with this issue right now, before the accession talks. Because after the accession talk begin, well, Poles will have a very big desire to blackmail us on all the issues. Well, because it's politically appropriate to do so. That's the realpolitik of the modern society. And so it is better to deal with all the issues now.
Alexander, it is lovely to hear things like that it is good that the crisis occurred now, because now we can deal with it. I mean, this is a very wise and very politically advanced answer, I would say. So you're really an expert of foreign policy, I can see that. But let me take you higher. What if Alexander Kryov would be the minister for Ukrainian policy on agricultural policy? What would you do with this thing, with this strike?
Well, the main issue I do see right now is that both Ukrainian authorities, mainly the Ministry for Interior Affairs, and the Polish authorities are unable to control their schemers. I do not say about the legitimate lawful businesses that are suffering from this situation. I'm talking about the big schemers, big gray companies, let's call it that way, that are buying cheap Ukrainian grain and trying to flood Polish markets with the grain that is basically freighted for African countries, for Eastern Asia countries, for all the other continents. So basically the main issue right now in this regard is to stop the illicit activities in both business systems. And that is why it is more than appropriate to involve more cooperation on the part of interior ministries and on the part of agriculture ministry. I do believe that the main issue is to speak with the businesses, to see their necessities, to see their struggle, and not to try to impose something on them, rather to listen to them and rather to abide to the demands of the market. Well, because I'm a true believer in liberal economy, and the market will stabilize itself. We just need to hear the market, not hear only ourselves.
Well, as a minister, you will have definitely a lot of people that will say, we don't like you, Alexander. We don't like talking to business. We want to impose. What would you do with these? I mean, it's impossible, because we are sitting right now and talking in a quite comfortable suitable conditions. You're the future minister of Ukraine and me, the journalist. But if you will be the minister, please allow me to ask the questions on exclusive basis. If you will become a minister, just, having some certain future is good. But tell me, frankly, do you believe that the strike can grow into something bigger and more troubling for both parties?
As of now, we do see that it is coming to some kind of an apex. It's some kind of a summit of this crisis. And I do believe that all the instruments being enforced and being dealt with right now will have some effect. Because from the point of the Confederation and all the strikers, the Polish government will be ready in some time to adapt to their demands. From the point of view of Ukrainian government and Ukrainian officials and Ukrainian businesses, it is much more clear. The position of the Polish businesses and the position of the government will be clear in some time. So I do believe we will deal with this crisis in no time. However, if we are not to get rid of the strategic issues underlying the crisis, it will repeat itself again and again and again. So basically, we will deal with this current crisis, but speaking about broader economic cooperation and adding Ukraine to the general European market, we still have a lot to do. And that is a whole other question. What are the strategic narratives for our cooperation with Polish friends?